Hi, welcome back to the channel. It was pointed out to me recently that all of my videos are kind of pointing out the problem, or they're highlighting my blueprint philosophy or something along those lines. And somebody very genuinely came back and said, I get all of that, it all resonates with me. What do I do about it? So today I am going to quickly run through the 246 framework I use with my clients. And this is a framework we can apply to anything, any situation, any area of our life we want to create change in. So first and foremost, I call it the 246 framework, and I've missed the 1 because 1246 doesn't scan. But we have to start with, what are we trying to create? It's really easy in our life to understand what we want to get rid of, what we want less of. But if we get rid of what we don't want, it doesn't give us what we do want. Okay? And when we take away something without something else to fill in the space, our old thinking finds it much easier to reassert itself. So we start by identifying what we don't want. That's our kind of bedrock. But if we don't then move to what do we want, we're going to struggle. So number 1, what is it you are trying to create? And this is always deeper than an action or a mechanism. So if you want to be a millionaire, the question you then need to ask is why? What is that going to create for me? And we have to go deeper and deeper and deeper. So if you want a new job, why? What is that new job going to create for you? We have to look at this. And I'm going to use the word have in this video, even though if you see my other videos, you'll know you don't have to do anything. But let's take it from the perspective of, if you want to create change, there are certain things that are required of you. And for the purpose of this video, I'm going to use the word have to signify this is what's required. So we have to go deeper. If we're only focused on the mechanism, it isn't deep enough. It isn't a deep enough connection with ourselves to motivate us, to keep us connected to the reasons we are doing it when it gets difficult, and it will get difficult. So we have to keep going deeper. How do we want to be? How do I want to feel? How do I want to feel when people ask me what I do? How do I want to feel? How do I want to be when I walk into a room of people I don't know? What is it I am trying to create? Do I want to be of service to people? Do I generate a sense of personal worth by being helpful to other people? That is the level we are looking to get to. So what do you really want? It is always deeper than a mechanism, which is the doing part. Okay? What do you want? Always deeper. It's meaning over mechanism. So once you've understood what it is you really want, we're going to have to create some belief systems that support us in the pursuit of it. And the reason we need those belief systems is we've been operating from our blueprint, which automates our reactions to what happens around us and to us. And that blueprint, the beliefs in that blueprint, have been created from our earliest years. They've been imposed, conditioned, dictated. Very few of them, this is going to be a sweeping statement, if you've done the work, this will be different. But for most of us, when we start doing this work, we haven't interrogated those beliefs. And these are the limiting beliefs. You hear coaches or lots of people talking about, we all have limiting beliefs. This is what we're talking about. It will be required of us to create 2 beliefs. The first belief is an overarching, empowering belief. Now that might be something as broad as I am deeply worthy of what I want to create, or I deserve the opportunity to create what it is I really want. So these are broad, high-level, empowering beliefs. Now, all of our other little beliefs, when they kick in and go, you don't deserve this, you're going to fail, you're never going to achieve what you want, we interrupt that automatic thought And we come back to this overarching, empowering belief. I am worthy of it, so I'm going to continue working. Now, there will be days when we cannot quite make that belief. We cannot quite reach it and embody it in the day. So the second belief is a safety net belief. So you imagine the first one over the top, empowering. Second one sits underneath and is a safety net. Now mine is I am on the right adventure. Right, simple. It doesn't require me to do anything. It stops me falling. Right, so when those negative thoughts kick in, and they do, I've been doing this for 10 years, I've been working on myself for 10 years, the negative thoughts will kick in. It's just what our blueprint does. It's incredibly elastic and it will snap back, especially if we're not very well, especially if we're tired, whatever it might be, there will be times when it snaps back. So having the safety net belief underneath, I am on the right adventure. I was right to leave my job. I was right to go out and start pursuing being of service to people. I was right to pursue training as a coach. I am right in this adventure. Okay. Because when we have those two beliefs, we kind of sandwich our activity between them. On our average to good days, we can reach the overarching belief. And on our below average and poor days, we can land in the safety net that says it's okay to have a bad day. I'm on the right adventure. I can ride this out. So we've identified what it is we really want, and that is at a deeper meaning level, not the mechanism we're going to use to create it. We have developed these two beliefs, the overarching empowering belief and the safety net belief to catch us on our bad days. So we've got the 1 and the 2 of the 2-4-6 framework. The 4 piece. These are the pillars by which we measure how we are approaching the creation of what it is we really want to, the life we really want to live. And there are 4 of them. Ownership, authenticity, can't even remember my own framework. Ownership, authenticity, self-love, and integrity. Now let's start from the top. Ownership. For most of us, well, all of us are incredible storytellers. For most of us, we fill in a whole, we don't know a great deal about any situation, and we fill in the blanks. And what happens is, as we accumulate stories, we get further and further away from the core truth of a situation. Ownership requires us to own every single thing that is ours to own, and it also requires us to put down everything that is not ours to own. We tend to rush in and try to rescue other people when they are struggling or when it feels like they could do with some help. And I'm not saying we don't help other people. What I'm saying is we do not carry their burdens for them. Just in the same way that if other people are carrying our burdens, we are not truly owning all that is ours. Ownership, so important. Authenticity is the second pillar. How truly am I showing up as who I am? Or how often do I project a version of me that isn't who I really am? I spent 20 years projecting a version of myself that wasn't real, and it weighed, it was such a burden to carry because it wasn't who I was. I had to expend all this energy pretending to be somebody I wasn't. And it wore me out. It exhausted me eventually. So authenticity is the second measure. When I go into a room of strangers, can I be who I am? And if I can't, the task is, how do I go in search of finding out why? We'll come to that in the 6th bit. So we've got ownership, we've got authenticity. Self-love. Lots of people talk about self-belief in this space. I don't think self-belief can exist until we have self-love. I hated myself for a very long time, and it is incredibly destructive, because if we don't love who we are, then we don't believe we're worthy of anything that we really want. So self-love is a measure. So when we are being horrible to ourselves, we all have that voice in our head that we would never dream of saying to somebody else. When we have that, we are not in self-love. So these are the measures. And the last one is integrity. Integrity is how consistently do I show up, owning everything that is mine to own, authentically being who I am, and demonstrating self-love. That integrity is a really key measure. So we have our 1, identify what it is we really want. It's always a deeper meaning rather than the mechanism. 2, the 2 beliefs, an overarching empowering belief, a safety net belief that catches us when we can't reach the empowering belief. 4 pillars: ownership, authenticity, self-love, integrity. But how do we get to those things? How do we start working on ownership when we avoid so many things in our lives? How do we start working on self-love when the conditioning is so strong that actually we're probably not worthy, is how we feel? 6 essential elements. First is compassion. And in this instance, compassion means non-judgmental. So we spend so much of our time judging ourselves that it becomes almost impossible to get out from under it. Compassion is when we recognize we are judging ourselves and we pause, we interrupt and go, no. There is no judgment here. Everybody is doing the best they can in the moment, and there are potentially thousands of reasons why the best somebody can give in the moment is not the best they are absolutely capable of. That is true for me, that is true for you, that is true for everybody. So when we judge ourselves to have fallen short, compassion. It's okay, there's a reason. I might not know the reason, but there is a reason. There is nothing inherently wrong with me. I'm not broken. It's okay. I'm allowed to fuck up. Second essential element. So we've got compassion, curiosity, right? Let's shift our mindsets away from what we were brought up with, which is we get praised for being right. Go through school, get praised for being right. At work, we're praised for being right. In the family, it depends on your family, but quite often we're praised for being right. If we can shift that mindset to, actually, well, how do I get it right? Not be right. How do I get it right? Let's be curious about why we are self-judgmental. Let's be curious about why we are struggling to create what it is we really want. Compassion first, there's nothing wrong with me. Curiosity, I wonder what I can learn about myself and what can I change? How lightly can I hold my certainties? Because our certainties are the limits of how far we can grow. Compassion, curiosity, connection is the third. Can I get more deeply connected with who I really am? Beneath all the armour that I have put on over the years, beneath all the weight of expectation that I have adjusted myself to, beneath all of the inclusion criteria of every group I have ever been a part of, can I find the true me? Fundamentally in life, we all want 4 things. We want to be seen for who we really are. We want to be heard for what we have to say. We want to be accepted for who we really are. And we want to be loved. Fundamentally, that's it. Now, that may show up in myriad ways, but those are the 4 things we're all after. Compassion, curiosity, and connection can allow us to actually start embodying that authenticity that we were talking about in the 4 pillars. It can help us start practicing self-love. And when we are doing that, we can start to own more and more of what it is that is truly ours to own. And if we're doing that, then we can show up with integrity. Compassion, curiosity, and connection. The second 3 of the 6 essential elements are awareness. Can we start practicing pausing? Our blueprints automate our reactions to what's going on around us and to us. Our blueprints are studded with truths and beliefs that we have picked up, been given, or have had dictated to us over the earlier part of our lives. Until we interrupt that automatic emotional reaction, we're not really exploring who we are. So awareness, and this happens on a scale. If you're new to practicing awareness, it will start to happen after an event, right? There will be a reflection period. You will react. Your emotions will be in charge. You will act in a certain way. After the event, you can start looking at yourself going, well, how well did that serve me? Did it serve me? If the answer is, actually, I don't think that served me very well, start reflecting further back. What was it that caused your reaction? And as we start practicing awareness, the more we practice it, the closer to the moment of reaction we get. We start to see what's happening earlier, and eventually we can do it in the moment. And then when we're really practiced, we can predict when we're going to be triggered and start posing these questions to ourselves. Compassion, curiosity. Oh, it's interesting. I wonder why I'm reacting in that way. Why am I doing it? Is it serving me? What could I do instead? So awareness, another really important aspect. Acceptance. This comes back to the ownership piece. There are some core truths of the universe, and they are very rarely the things we think are the truths that govern our lives. Can we strip away the stories to find the core truth? Where does our responsibility lie? What can I change? What can't I change? What can I work with to help me move forward? Accepting the core truths puts us in a position where we can really start working on that empowering belief, because we're not trying to work with a falsehood. We're not trying to work with a story. We're working with the truth. So awareness and acceptance. And then the sixth, they're all really important, but the sixth element is intentional action. How can I plan to take action and then take the action that is going to move me? I'm not trying to get checkmate the first move of a game of chess. It's impossible. Awareness, acceptance. The rules of the universe do not work that way. The way the universe works is my ultimate goal is comprised of a myriad number of small action and steps that I take that maybe in the moment don't feel like I'm moving very far. But after 6 months, I can look back and see how far I have come. Without the intentional action, all this work above, the 1, 2, 4, and the first 5 of the 6, they're nice to haves. We end up knowing more about ourselves. We understand more about the universe and other people, but we are not in the practice of creating what we really want. And if we go back to number 1, what is it we are really trying to create? Whistle Stop Tour through how we create what it is we really want to, the life we really want to live. Now, anyone who has done this kind of work understands that it's trial and error. I'm not saying this is the only way you can achieve what it is you really want. Can you bridge to 10% of the idea? Can you find something in what I've just said that you go, well, I'll try that? And if you want to know more, head to my website, wyndhamjames.com. There's a whole load of detail on there. Search through some more of these videos, get some idea of some of the truths I'm talking about. Because I know from personal experience and 20 years of suffering, it's very easy not to take ownership of what is really ours. It is very easy to be caught in the negative, limiting beliefs that we've been given or have developed over our earlier life. It is incredibly easy to compromise on who we are in order to be accepted by other people. The price of that is inauthenticity, uncertainty, internal dissonance, unhappiness, unfulfillment, lack of fulfillment. So, if you feel stuck, if you feel that you're at a crossroads, don't know what to do, just take the step back. What do you really want? And that is, what meaning are you trying to create in your life? And then you can use the 2-4-6 framework to figure out that final part, which is the intentional action. Identify what you can do and then take the steps to do it. I leave you with that. I wish you a peaceful and joyful few days, and I will speak to you soon.